Hey guys, Jester here. Today we're going to be talking about dragons in the world of Greyhawk. Now this was spurred on by my last video, the Homebrew of Saltmarsh campaign, part 2, where I discussed the module Tomb of the Lizard King and voiced my displeasure of how the writers did the whole black dragon thing at the upper level, basically saying that it wasn't big enough to be going through the roughly 2-foot opening that they were allowing for it there to be there, and 2 feet's not big enough for a dragon of any size really, unless it's maybe a baby. Okay, but I also had done a video about a year or so ago, I guess maybe. I'm not sure exactly the time, but I will leave the link up one of these places here at the end of the video. Basically, where I had done a video on the second edition boxed set Dragon Mountain. And in that video, I had shown the differences between first edition dragons and second edition dragons. Now, I'll go ahead and do a disclaimer now, where I had actually erred slightly in describing the first edition dragons and the way they did their hit dice and hit points and all that sort of thing. Basically, I had said that a red dragon was an 11 hit dice monster regardless of anything. That was slightly different. They, in addition to what I had said about the way they do it, they go to a small, average, and I forget what the higher category is, but there's 3 categories. And so of dragons, and that's of any age, and it has to do with size, and so which doesn't that whole thing even confounds the whole situation even more when it comes to first edition dragons. But basically, if you've got a red dragon, you're going to roll an 8-sided dice, and depending on what you roll, you're either going to have category 1, category 2, category 3, and that's with any type of dragon, whether it be red or anything else. And then in the red dragon case, you've got hit dice of 9 to 11. So category 1 is a 9 hit dice, category 2 is a 10 hit dice, category 3 is a 11 hit dice. And then what I said in the video about depending on the age categories 1 through 8, depends on how many hit points per hit dice you have. So in the example I'd given in that video, you have 1 hit point per hit dice for the youngest age dragon. So that would, if in the 11, so if you have a large size young dragon, you're going to have an 11 hit dice young dragon at 1 hit point per hit dice for a total of 11 hit points. Or if it's the smallest of the 3 categories of young dragon, then you're going to have 1 hit point per a 9 hit dice dragon, and that's going to be 9 hit points. So that's where I'd slightly erred, and that's, like I said, that's with any age dragon. So in the adventure, like I said, in Adventure Tomb of the Lizard King, it specified in there that the black dragon was an let me go to that so that I don't misspeak again. It is a very old average, which is category 2, black dragon. So if you go to the first edition monster manual and turn to page 29, it tells you all about what I had said about the age categories and how many hit points per age category they get per hit dice. And then if you turn to the next page, two pages over to page 31, it talks about the black dragon. The black dragon has a hit dice of 6 through 8. So category 1 is 6, category 2 is 7, category 3 is 8. Average is category 2, so the black dragon in here is a 7 hit dice monster. Although it said it was a very old, so very old is category, or is age 7 out of 8. So the only thing that's older than that is an ancient dragon. So it's a very old dragon is 201 to 400 years old, and it has 7 hit points per die. So at a category, or a hit dice of 7 and an age category of 7, that's going to be 49 hit points. 7 hit points per 7 hit dice is 49 hit points. So that's how many hit points that the dragon has. Okay, so that's how you figure that out. But in any case, the black dragon, in a first edition black dragon, is going to be 30 feet long. Okay, size large creature, 30 feet long. And so, like I was saying, in second edition, the dragons are they're just crazy big. The sizes are sometimes up to quadruple what they are in first edition. Their hit dice are much more. The way they go about divvying or creating the hit dice and everything is completely different. And like I said, if you want all that in detail, just go to the Dragon Mountain video. Then like I said, I'll provide the link up at the end of this video. But in any case, but when I was looking, when I did the last video on Tomb of the Lizard King and was talking about the dragon, after the video, I got to thinking about the whole thing and reminiscing about other modules, other first edition modules, and most of the old school modules were first edition modules. Second edition rules came out, but the modules were completely different, and so all the stuff that you pretty much, somebody my age would remember playing are more than likely going to be your first edition modules. And first edition is what set the groundwork for the World of Greyhawk. Okay? And so what I'm wanting to say here today about dragons in the World of Greyhawk is that when you get to second edition and you have the dragons that are the type of dragons that you're going to find in the boxed set Dragon Mountain, they're going to be dragons like what we think of when we think of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit and with Smaug. Okay, Smaug is a second edition dragon. Okay, if you've watched the Game of Thrones, her 3 dragons are second edition dragons. These are the type of dragons that are world-changing type dragons. They've got the capacity to just wipe out entire populations, entire armies, that sort of thing, without a second thought, and destroy entire cities. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the type of dragon that you're going to find in second edition, and that's not the type of world that the World of Greyhawk is. You don't have dragons running things in the World of Greyhawk. You don't have dragons ruling things. They don't play an enormous part in the scheme of things in the World of Greyhawk. They just don't. They are no more or less than in any other type of monster that you're going to encounter in the World of Greyhawk, other than they are, probably one of the most powerful monster that you're going to find in the World of Greyhawk. It's just not world-changing like what second edition dragons were. And even the miniatures that you would find, which was mainly by Grenadier or Ralph Partha, depicted that. Because here is a Raupartha black dragon. Okay, and my little map here is 5 foot square map. All right, so if you sit this puppy down there, from head to tail here, and I know he's kind of standing up and everything, and it's not laying out, but we're talking 5, 10, 15, we're talking 20 feet. So if he's laying out, he's going to be roughly the 30-foot dragon that you're going to see in first edition. Okay, and all the other dragons miniatures that you come across are pretty much the same kind of size, and the largest dragon I think was 48 feet maybe, or 54 feet, and that was the gold dragon. Your second largest, I believe, was the red dragon. I could be wrong, but that's just going off the top of my head. But so those are the largest dragons that the World of Greyhawk, the first edition dragons had, and being that the majority of your World of Greyhawk modules were written with using first edition rules, that kind of, again, like I said, set the groundwork for what to expect in the World of Greyhawk. And so when second edition came along, and they drastically changed not only the dragons but giants and other creatures, were drastically changed from first edition to second edition, making them much more powerful. And so anyway, so basically, like I'm trying to say, is in the World of Greyhawk, your dragons are pretty much not all that much different than just a giant lizard. A giant lizard that can talk and cast spells, but as far as size and power and all that, it's really not that much more different than just a giant lizard. And definitely not world changing like the second edition dragons. Now, and really, it makes the boxed set Dragon Mountain, the dragon that's encountered there, by using the second edition dragon, it makes that module just that much more special, because of the setting that it takes place in. And even if you place it in the World of Greyhawk, the way I did, I used it in a unique way to where it wasn't a full-time part of the World of Greyhawk. And so it's something that was rarely ever had the possibility of being encountered in the World of Greyhawk. And so it wasn't basically, it wasn't generic to World of Greyhawk. And so so you have that uniqueness, and makes it just that much more special of a module, and special of an encounter when you actually encounter that dragon, because your players and you as a DM is going to be so used to just seeing this guy, compared to themselves, and then you've got a dragon that's basically almost this entire table. Okay, that is the difference really between first and second edition. And like I said, so really, World of Greyhawk is not second edition dragons. It's not second edition giants. It's just not that type of setting. And that's basically what this video was meant to say. I think I kind of rambled a lot there. I'm sorry if that came across that way, but that's basically it. You have a lot. I mean, you have a lot of dragons in the World of Greyhawk. I know I've made a list of dragons, and there's probably 30 to 40 named dragons in the World of Greyhawk, or at least actually specifically in products. And so for you to have that many dragons, if they were second edition dragons, it's like, okay, why haven't they taken over the world? Because again, if you're dealing with a Smog or the three from Khaleesi's, you know, family of dragons, why haven't they taken over the world if they're that powerful? Which is what a second edition dragon is. They are that powerful, that big. Okay, and so the reason that they haven't taken over the world is because they weren't intended to be second edition dragons. They were always intended to be first edition dragons, which are much, much, much less in power and size and everything else. Now, having said all that, my suggestion for running a first edition dragon, because second edition did come out with a lot of neat things, with just the attack style of dragons in general, which makes it more realistic when you're actually encountering a dragon, because that's what you would expect. You know, you have the tail swipe, the wing buffet, and all, you know, leg kicks and all that sort of thing. And so I would incorporate the attack style and attack methods that second edition came out with in using the dragons in World of Greyhawk. But when it comes to size and overall power, hit dice and all that, I think I would go more with the first edition with some tweaks, because like I said, the whole size, you know, tier 1, 2, and 3 size category of each age group doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It just is like you've got a small young or a medium young or a large young, and then it just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of wonky to me. But anyway, leave in the comments section what you guys think. You know, am I completely off base here? Did I hit the nail on the head or something in between? You know, let me know what you think. But that's my take on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Next video will be part 3 of the Homebrew Saltmarsh campaign, where I go over Baltron's Beacon. So, again, thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, and as always, see you soon.